Tell me a little bit about what you do at NASA and your job responsibilities.
My name is Lakeisha Flowers. I'm a human resources specialist at NASA. I've been there for 4 years. And as a human resources specialist, I provide customers with support in filling jobs and conducting job analysis to determine what skills, knowledge, capabilities, and other characteristics are necessary to perform the jobs that we have. I also support employee relations and performance management, which means I help managers deal with situations where employee performance is not ideal, and I help them and employees get to that ideal performance point.
Does the recession change your thoughts about work-life balance? Do you focus more of your time on work in this recession?
Because of us being a government entity, we haven't felt the constraints of the recession as many people in the private sector have. We're not profit driven. We're funded by government appropriations. However, in terms of working with our contractor workforce, where I have seen greater impact of the recession, I feel that there was a greater push amongst myself and other people, other coworkers, and members of the workforce to perform better, longer, show a commitment to the company, so people don't feel as at great risk of losing their job, especially when budgets get tighter.
What has your company done to help balance your work and life? Do you think that those programs or policies help you a lot?
NASA has always been a very family-friendly organization, and so we've always had policies in place and programs to achieve work-family balance and to support employees and their families. For instance, we have an employee assistance program that offers seminars on a regular basis about de-stressing, investing, retirement, really looking at the big picture of the whole employee, not just a person providing a job function. We also have flexible work schedules, opportunities to telework, and we're just very understanding that people have a life outside of the center. And we see that from our actions from our center director and other members of senior management. We have lots of holidays. We're encouraged to take our annual leave so that we do get out of the office. In fact, you lose annual leave you lose a certain amount of annual leave if you don't use it by the end of the leave year. So the environment has always been such that employees are encouraged to maintain that balance and renew themselves outside of work.
How do you know when your work and life are not balanced?
I'd say when I'm taking work home on a regular basis and I'm not able to really separate in terms of turn off the types of things I'm thinking about related to my customers, such as how I could consult with the customer better, what the customer's needs are, or what I need to worry about the next day in the office. And that's blending into other parts of my life where I'm spending time with my friends, but I may be thinking about something that I have to do the next day or something that I did it earlier in the day. Those are the types of indicators to me that tell me that I need to put a little bit of more separation between the two.
How do you personally measure your work-life balance?
For me, it's dependent on whether I feel I'm missing out on things in my family or family events, get-togethers, or I don't have enough time to talk to my family members on our phone or visit with them personally because I'm invested in work activities. So when I feel that I'm missing out on things with my family, then that's when I realize I need to take a step back and make sure that I really focus on what my priorities are.
What kind of family-friendly policies does your company have? And do you think that those policies help you with your work-life balance?
Like I said, we have flexible work schedules and telework options. We have an employee assistance program. We also do events such as an annual picnic where employees are encouraged to bring their families. We have vendors and community members from all parts of the county and basically the space community there. So it's something that people look forward to every year. It's been going on for more years than I even know, and it's just a great way to celebrate and commune together We also have Family Day at the Space Center where people can bring their families or their friends with them, which is unusual because you normally need to be badged. You normally have to have certain security clearances in order to be on center. But this one day a year, we open it up to all guests so that people can really see what their family members who work out here do on a day to day. And of course, that brings a lot of pride out in our employees because they get to share that with their families. So on top of our day to day policies that are related to actual work conditions, there's definitely an environment that embraces the fact that employees have lives outside of work, and we have events that celebrate that.
How does your company decide what work-life balance policies to implement? Through fads or through research, or how do they decide?
A lot of times we definitely take a pulse of our employees. We have annual employee engagement and employee viewpoint surveys that are conducted across the federal government. And so employees have a voice in describing the work-life balance that they have or any impediments or factors that increase that for them. And so based on those results, at a very high level within the federal government's personnel system, those results are analyzed and policies would trickle down based on that. At least that's one avenue that predicts what these policies or determines what these policies will be.
Are there any times where work has to be a priority?
I would say so, particularly because we're NASA and we launch space shuttles and rockets. There are times where employees have to be present on console or otherwise supporting those launch and landing activities of space vehicles. And that may happen at 12 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock in the afternoon and require the employees are available for extended periods of time in order for us to have a successful mission. So at those times, for those personnel who are critical to that mission success, it's absolutely important that they're available to support those activities. Now, having said that, because NASA does appreciate the necessity of supporting family activities, we typically don't launch during the holidays so that employees aren't tied up in those activities rather than spending time with their families. So even then, the agency is cognizant of that and takes efforts to mitigate.
Do you think that working for the government versus private sector has any impact?
I would say so. Working for the government, we receive our appropriations or funding from Congress in the beginning of the fiscal year, and so we know how much money we have to provide the mission and the activities that Congress has told us to within the budget that they provide us. There's not a pressure to sell more or make more business deals that many people who work for the private sector might feel in order to ensure their company's financial vitality. So I'd say having that stress removed allows us to be free to spend the time with our family when necessary.
How does NASA promote a connection with the community?
Well, being that we are the space program, I think a lot of people almost inherently feel the pride of the space program, of our country having our historical leadership in space exploration. So that's one aspect. Just by having a space program, I think people feel a connection. Then NASA goes above and beyond that, though. We are really interested and motivated to promote science and technology and engineering, mathematics, education. So we have many partnerships with all schools at all levels within the community, and not just locally, but across the country. We really encourage employees to volunteer in schools, to work with science fairs, and do as much as we can to encourage students to become interested in science, technology, and the like. So that's one avenue that NASA uses to promote and create a connection to the community.